Alright guys, in today's video I wanted to go over what gear I'm bringing to Colorado. I've only got about a month left. As you can see, I'm all packed. I've got my gear bag that I'm going to be hunting with day in and day out, and then this is kind of my camp bag here on the side, and that I'll be packing my food and most of my clothes in and any kind of camp essentials. And included in this video, I'm going to put it in the description below, I've made an Excel spreadsheet with all the weights of everything that I have included in these two packs. And the reason that I did that was so that if my pack was overweight, I would be able to eliminate different items that could save me some room. And just to be clear, I'm going on what you call a spike camp hunt, and essentially what it is a public land hunt. It's not guided, but the guide pretty much brings you in on horse to a camp that's already set up. You could picture like a big canvas tent, and they're going to provide a propane stove and pots and pans, but we have to bring in our own food, our own gear. But like I said, that camp will be ready for us. We've just got to make sure that we're underweight, and I believe it's 50 pounds. So everything in these two bags that I've loaded up is a total of 48 pounds right now. So I've got a couple more pounds I can add and get away with it, but we've got to be around 50 or less so that the horses can take us in. So I'll go ahead and I'll start with my gear bag, and I'm going to go ahead and set this down. So this is the Alps Outdoors bag. I just picked it up this year, and it's Commander X Plus pack. The Commander X is the frame, and just the pack attaches to the frame. So this is basically two different pieces. As you can see on this backside here, this is your frame through here, and then the pack is everything on the outside, and it has a zipper that you can detach. And I'm not going to do that for you. I don't think it's necessary, but if you wanted to, after you harvested your elk or whatever animal, you can take all this pack and all this heavy gear off on the outside, lay it down, and just use the frame itself to haul your meat out. So that's a pretty cool feature there. And this pack, the reason I got it, I felt like it was the best deal that I could find. A lot of these packs are around $500 if you're looking for one that's going to hold a bunch of stuff and be able to haul out anything you harvest. So with this, you're getting a lot of room on the inside. The only downside of this bag is that it comes in at like 9 pounds, so that's already a huge portion of the weight that I'm allowed to bring. And my plan is to get to camp and to be able to drop some of this extra gear off, and then that will lighten the load. Basically, I just needed a frame pack that I could haul meat out with and also haul all my gear in at once. And what I'm used to with whitetail hunting, I didn't have a pack that I could do that with. So with this one, I felt that it was going to be my best option. I found it on Facebook. I think I paid the guy like $2.99 or around $300, and it retails now for like $400 or $500, I believe. So if you're looking to get a good pack for a budget, this is probably a good option for you. And it has a rain cover actually included with it too that will fold out and fold over all this stuff. So that's a pretty cool feature. But I'll go ahead and take out everything that I've got and lay it to the side just to show you what all I'm holding and what all I'm going to bring. So I've got my quiver attached over here on the outside, and I don't plan on hunting with it like this. I just want it out here so that whenever we ride in on the horses that it's not going to be in the way of anything, and it's kind of the only way I could get it to fit. So I'll undo that buckle and take this out and lay it to the side here. Then I'll go ahead and take my bow out. My only concern with this is that I could bang the side off of the pack, which I don't know. It kind of concerns me, but at the same time, I don't feel like I'm going to be moving quite rapidly or erratically enough to be banging that thing off of everything on me. But this pack doesn't actually have a spot to carry your bow. I just kind of rigged something up here, and I had it held in there better earlier, and right now it's not the best. You can see it's loose, but I had another strap that I put in on the pack, which is really cool about this pack. You've got multiple loops where you can actually add straps, and that's what I did earlier. And I have this strap here, so I took it and went around the sight with it and then tightened that thing down where it wasn't bouncing back and forth. So I really don't think I'm going to have a problem there. I'm going to make sure that my bow's sighted in once I get to camp anyway, so I'm not overly concerned about it. This is the Bowtech brand new Carbon Zion, and I just got it this year, which one of the reasons that I got it was because it was only like 3.3 pounds, and I was able to cover a greater distance than my older bow that I had. So I've been shooting it back and forth a little bit, and if you're interested more in that bow, you can go check out the review that I have on it. I'll put a link in the description. So on the outside of the pack, I've included a few things that I might need to get to first, and I picked this up. It's a first aid kit from Bass Pro, made for backcountry camping and hunting and things of that nature. I haven't really done my research totally on it yet, but I know that it includes pretty much everything you could ever ask for if you got into a bad situation. So as you can see, there's gloves, there's bandages, basically everything that you could need, is including some medication, some like acetaminophen and aspirin, and different things that might help with altitude sickness, or if you get a bite, or if you get in one of those situations where you got to bandage something up to survive. So you can look at what's included on their website in that kit. I'm not going to go into it too much to bore you, but I put that on the outside of the pack so that I could get to it quickly. And then this is my Joby GorillaPod Mini. I've been using it for a couple of years, and with all the filming gear, it's nice to have if you want to set up, and especially if you want to take like a night shot or something where you got to be super still. This is the go-to thing here, and it's also it's really lightweight, so it's no problem for me to pack it in there. I'm not even going to dare take the extra weight with me with a full-size tripod. It's not practical in this case, and I don't feel like really packing that thing around, so I've got my Mini here, and that's all I've got out here on the outside. Not very much. Plenty of room for other stuff in there though, and this thing could actually detach totally if you wanted to. I haven't really done that yet. I didn't see the need to, but I'll go ahead and show you where I'm going to keep my sleeping bag in here. It's got a huge pouch down here, plenty of room, and this is the big lesson that I learned from the first time that I went elk hunting. You do not want to go with a garbage sleeping bag, and last time I had a sleeping bag that I don't know that it was even temperature rated at all, and it got down to 30 almost every night, and we froze our butts off. We had all our clothes on. It didn't matter what we did, so I made sure that I picked up a temperature rated bag. This one's rated for 20 degrees. It's the Kelty 20, Tuck 20. I picked it up on Sierra Trading Post, and I've got in this thing a few times. It's got a nice hood on it, and I really don't see myself getting cold in this, but it's yet to be field tested, so I can't say too much about it. With that sleeping bag, that's all I've got in that huge compartment there. But something that I picked up extra that I thought would be nice to have in camp, it's going to be inside this main compartment here, which you just get a couple more buckles, and it flips over on this hood, and then you got this huge storage compartment in here. But with the sleeping bag, I went ahead and picked up this pillow that I'll have to find for you in here. So this is the Climate Lux pillow, and it's pretty cool. I pulled it out the other day and tested it out with my sleeping bag, and I think this thing right here is going to be a game changer. and I plan to take it with me actually when I'm hunting in the field, so that if I want to sit down for a little while on glass, I can just blow this thing up and you know, sit on it for a little bit or rest my head for a little bit. So as you can see, it's a pretty big pillow. You can inflate it halfway, you can do it full, whatever you want. So that's what I plan to bring with me on my sleeping bag to try to stay comfortable. And I picked it up for, I think, $29 on Sierra Trading Post. And if any of you Midwestern guys don't know already, Sierra Trading Post is a great place to pick up anything that you could need for your Western hunting stuff. It's like the TJ Maxx of the Midwest. So also inside of this big compartment, I'm going to be carrying this Cabela's puffy jacket. Super lightweight, cheap. It was $70, I believe, which is again one of the reasons that I picked this one instead of something like a Sitka or First Light, which everybody wants the Sitka or the First Light jacket. But as you can see on this price list that I've included, things add up very quickly. And if you're somebody like me that's not just made of money, you're going to have some kind of budget set out, because this gets costly quick. And if you're going out there and you're wanting the best of the best, you know, you're going to be wasting a lot of money. So this Cabela's puffy jacket, I'm just going to have it with me. It's super light, like I said, and super warm. So if it gets cold, this is my go-to warm weather gear. So cold weather gear, I should say. And then what I've done inside of this main compartment is I've made a kill kit. And I've got like a repair kit in here. I believe that's it within the main compartment. So I'll go ahead and start with the kill kit. And this is basically what I say it is. It's a kill kit. I've got my game bags in here. I picked these up. These are actually caribou bags from Cabela's, makes them. I'll put a link to the video, or a link to the product in the video. And they're pretty heavy, to be honest with you. I didn't think they would be that heavy, but I'm gonna need these if you kill one, so I figured that would be the best way to go, put them in a Ziploc bag and kind of save some space. Also within my kill kit, I brought some dude wipes. I figured clean your hands off, that way you don't have a bear come attack you after. I've got a Sharpie so that I can write on the game bags if I need. Some Ziploc or some zip ties. I've got a heavy duty buck. I believe it's a 110. This is an older knife that my dad let me use. Another one of those budget things. You know, if you can save some money somewhere and use somebody's something, it's the way to go. One thing I did pick up is a Gerber. I think it's the Vital pocket knife. It's got exchangeable blades here on the end, so I thought that would be the best way to go, instead of bringing a sharpener. And you'd be able to cut up an elk and make all your finer cuts with this, and let the buck do the heavier duty cutting. So I've got some paracord here in case we need to hang the meat from trees or whatever. Backup headlamp, just in case for some reason I've replaced or misplaced my other one. I've got this backup here. It's super lightweight, and I've got some cleaning gloves there, and then my replacement blades. So that's it for my kill kit. Hopefully I'll get to use that this year. No promises, but that is the goal of this trip. It's not going to be to kill the biggest elk on the mountain, although we'd love to do that, but we're definitely going to be looking to bring home some meat this year. And something else that I think is going to be important is a repair kit here. I've got some electrical tape. You never know what you might need that for. An Allen wrench here. Any kind of bow adjustment. You almost have to have that if your sight gets knocked out of place. I'm going to try to mark down where my sight should be at in case I bump it on the horse, or whatever I need to do. I can get it done with that Allen wrench. I've got some waterproof matches, and I'm not too worried about the fire situation because our base camp's not going to be very far away. I believe the basin we're in is going to be about 5 miles, so if anything, I should be able to find my way back to camp. But I do have a fire starter here too, so I've got a couple different ways to start a fire, and then I got some more zip ties in there. I'll probably go ahead and throw in some duct tape with that too, but just a basic repair kit, something I'm going to carry with me in the field that could come in handy if some of my equipment breaks on me. So with that, that's the main gist of everything in there. So I've also got my bugle tube here on the side. It's a Rocky Mountain Game Calls bugle tube. I picked it up for like 30 or 40 bucks. I'll have the link to all this in the video description. I've got my plastic water bottle here that I'm going to carry with me. I'll probably fill it up of a morning. And speaking of water, we've got the Sawyer Squeeze Mini, and this is the bag that comes with it. And I've got the actual filter up here for it. So let's go ahead and go over the top. This pack on the top's where I'm going to hold most of my camera gear. I've got my Sony RX100, perfect camera for taking pictures and videos and just pulling out and being able to put it in your pocket. It's just as good as all my other camera gear that I have, honestly. And I'm also going to be bringing the camera that I'm filming this video with. It's a Sony A7S II, and a couple lenses. I'll bring a fisheye lens and a Tamron 28x70 lens. I'm not going to bring my big Sony zoom lens. I don't feel like I've got enough room to carry that weight. It's a heavy lens. It's an awesome lens, but I just don't have the room for it. But here's the Sawyer Mini Squeeze. You know, you can get all your water from there if you need. And for our camp, over here in the side pouch, I won't be carrying this in my bag when I'm hunting, but I've got a gravity filter. It's like a 6-liter gravity filter device, basically, that you can fill up any of your water canisters or anything that you need to get water from. So I plan on going to the creek when we get back at night and then filling up for the next day. And within that, I got some water purification drops that I can drop in there and get the best quality water, maybe kill off some more bacteria that way. So that's one thing that is going to be pretty scary to think about on this trip, is these 3 things here. That's where our water's coming from. There's no other source. As far as filtered water, we're going to have to filter our own, so we've got to make sure that equipment stays good, and I believe it will. So that's all I got in the top pouch though right now. I'm not going to bring any audio equipment for my camera. Typically I would, but not being able to go charge our stuff up at night is kind of eliminate that. So audio is just going to have to go off the camera, and I think it will be alright. So I've got an extra bag here in the top with just camera gear, basically extra batteries, a rangefinder battery extra. That would be huge to forget. And just got some extra AA's, AAA's, and a lens pen here to clean my lens off in case I get something on it. I don't want to wipe it off from my shirt. So that does it there for the camera gear and pretty much everything in the bag, I believe. Make sure I didn't forget anything. Oh, so one thing that's cool about this bag, the straps that go around your waist have 2 big areas here where you can carry things. I'm going to be carrying a rangefinder over here in this pocket, just something I can have quick access to. And then the Garmin InReach Explorer Plus, I'm going to have it over here. This is something new that I haven't ever used before. I've tested it out here a few months before I'm going, and it's been pretty cool. I will say it's pricey, and it seems like the more features that you want to have, or the advertised features, the texting, the weather, all that stuff, you have to pay extra for on this, which kind of caught me by surprise. I didn't really think that would be the case, but overall this thing's going to keep me from getting lost, and it's going to have a good battery life on it because I'm not going to be able to use my cell phone, no cell service, so I figured I need something with a longer battery life. And if I was just using my Onyx maps offline, my phone would die on me and I'd have no ability to track where I'm at. So that's just an extra that you don't necessarily need, but if you're somebody like me, you might as well get it so you don't get lost. So I'll go ahead and go into my camp bag here, and basically all I've done is put food, clothes that I'm going to be able to grab and put in my pack in the morning, and a few different things like toothbrush, deodorant, and soap. So I'll go ahead and show you what I've got though. More dude wipes, can't have enough. I got a 2-pack of these utility sporks. That way I can eat my food at night without having to dig it out with my hands. And then a travel kit, toothbrush, and some toothpaste. And then a small soap and a small deodorant. I'm gonna go ahead and throw that back in there. And the bag here itself, see if we still got a name. It's a Evolution Tactical duffel bag. I picked it up at Gander Outdoors. They were having an additional 60% off clearance, and I think this is like a $80 or $100 bag, and I got it for $15. So it was one of those things that I didn't really need. I could have thrown this stuff in a backpack, but whenever you've got room up here to attach different things with straps and all these different pouches on it, you know, I just thought that it was the perfect bag. And for $15, I mean, you can't afford not to buy it. So on the front side here, I've got my socks and underwear. I've got 4 pair of socks. They're merino wool. I do recommend getting merino wool socks. The underwear, I don't think that's necessary, but the merino wool socks, the last time I went elk hunting, I wore 3 pair for 5 or 6 days and no problems whatsoever. It was the way to go. They were great whenever it was hot. They were great whenever it was cold. It was just, if you're going to invest in something clothing wise that's a little pricier, get the good socks. I know they're like $20, but they really come in handy when it comes down to it. So on the main compartment here is where I've got all my food and my clothes. And for food, I went ahead and went to Sierra Trading Post online again, and I picked up several different meals. I've got, I believe, 8 of these total, two breakfasts and maybe 6 dinners. That's what I plan on eating at dinner though, or these Mountain House meals. Boiling water and putting it in the bag and being able to eat something and go to bed. So that's pretty much the dinner plan, or all these meals. And then for lunch, I've got Bumblebee tuna packets, high in protein, low calorie, which isn't great. You'd like to have some more calories, but I'll try to cover that with some other food. But so far, this is what I'm bringing for lunch. It's super lightweight, easy to pack. Comes with like a spork in here, so you don't have to worry about having a utensil around. But these are real good. I've had them several times for lunch at work, so you're not sacrificing taste with this. It's just it's tuna. You'll get tired of it, but at the same time, it's a good thing to have. And I also brought a Jif squeezable peanut butter. I'm going to pick up some tortillas since they're so lightweight, and I'll be able to throw them in this bag and basically make peanut butter wraps with it in the field. And that's probably what else I'll have at lunch or any type of snack I want. So nothing special with the food, and we'll probably lose quite a bit of weight that week where we're going. But something else that I actually happened to get today, my girlfriend just gave me these out of nowhere. I think she was just cleaning out her pantry or something, so she gave me her leftovers. But these are the Verb energy bars. Haven't tried them out. They might taste terrible, but we've got salted peanut butter, and it says there's as much caffeine as an espresso and only 90 calories, so that would be pretty unbelievable if it tasted any decent at all. Enough with the food though. We'll go ahead and get it into the clothing. So basically I've brought, I believe, 3 sets of clothing, hunting wise, that you would call 3 different sets, and a base layer. So for the base layer, I've got the First Light Kiln hoodie. I don't actually have that in the bag, I don't think. But then I've also got this Arrow Wool Wick Ultralight 150. This is something that I used last year along with that Kiln hoodie underneath my my warmer Sitka gear when it was like 15 degrees outside in January, and it did a really good job of keeping me warm. And I also think that it will do a super good job whenever it's warm outside. I can just wear this alone. Like say we get a 80-degree day, which could happen in Colorado in September. It might be 80 during the day, and then it might only be 30 at night. I mean, it's crazy some of the temperature swings that I've seen out there. So this is something that you could wear all day long underneath, and adjust accordingly whether you need to take off a layer or add a layer. It's just something good to have. So if you're going to spend your money on something, spend it on merino wool. I don't think you have to have First Light or Sitka. I think it's just got to be merino wool. It's just a great material and arguably one of the best hunting materials there is. So I plan on wearing those, the Kiln hoodie and the ultralight 150 there quite a bit. And here I've got some Under Armour Storm pants. These are like a mid-weight set of pants. I got these at Gander on sale. They were half off, I believe. Let's see. It's a forest camouflage pattern. Thought it might look good out west. It's water resistant, so that'll be something good to have. With that, I've got a toboggan in case it gets cold. I'm sure it will. And then I've got my Sitka early season whitetail suit. Since I've got the pants and the matching shirt and the gaiter and the gloves, I figured I might as well bring it all. And if I get one of those 85 degree days we're talking about and happen to hike 5 miles, this will be the perfect gear to wear. So had to bring it. I also got some more clearance Under Armour. This is a real lightweight hoodie. Goes along with the pants. I don't think it's water resistant, but I've got some gloves here, and then that puffy jacket that we talked about earlier. And I think there's another lightweight hoodie in there, but basically you can see I've only got like 2 pair of pants and 2 jackets, or the puffy jacket and then the base layers. And I'm just hoping that we don't get some kind of crazy snowstorm or something that throws us for a loop and keeps us in the tent. But I believe that clothing was one of the areas that I could pack real light with and get by with what I had. I didn't think I needed to go out and spend extra money on anything, any super heavy jacket. I've got some super heavy stuff, but I just don't think you can afford to pack it all this time of the year and in a spike camp like I'm going to. So that's it for that clothing bag. And one thing I forgot to mention, which I'm sure everybody would rip me for in the comments: why don't you have binoculars and your calls and wind checker? Well, that's what I've got here. This is my Vortex bino harness. This is like one of the cheapest bino harnesses you can find, and I love the thing. Honestly, I got it last year because I thought it looked cool, and walking, 5-10 miles when you're elk hunting, it's nice to have your binoculars secured to your chest, not bouncing around. So these are just some Nikon Pro Staffs 10x42s. I think they're plenty good enough. The country that we're going to be hunting has a lot of buck brush, and you're probably not going to be able to sit down in glass like you see a lot on TV where you've got these big parks. You're probably not going to be able to sit down and pull out a spotting scope, so I didn't really think that was necessary. And hopefully we'll get to the elk calling. But I've also got on these side pouches wind checker. I mean, I don't think you can have enough of that. And wind's always going to be your best friend or your worst enemy, so you need to know which way it's blowing. And then I've got some Rocky Mountain elk calls, mouth calls. I got like the 3-pack, I believe, on Bass Pro or Cabela's. Still sounding terrible with those, but getting better every day, and got about a month to go before we're ready to head on. We're gonna head out, drive about 1,000 miles in the car. Was gonna get plane tickets, but the price of the tickets and everything going on right now, it's like it would just be better to go out and drive a car out there and not have to worry about the situation where we would have to find a way to pack that animal back home. We'd just be able to strap the horns on top of the Nissan and get her home. But if you guys have any more questions, feel free to drop them in the comments. Try not to grill me too hard. I know that this isn't the best equipment, and some of it might be overkill and some of it might not be enough, but I'm all ears when it comes to suggestions, and I know there's a lot of YouTube experts out there, so I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. And just stay tuned, and we'll see what happens. We'll hopefully get a video out, and it might be a month after the season, but we're going September 24th to like October 1st out west, so I'm really excited and spend a ton of money with all this equipment. And I hope you guys use the Excel spreadsheet and at least use it as a checklist if you need to make sure that you've got everything, because I went over it pretty thoroughly and I believe I've got mostly everything. But if you notice within there, I've put columns for price and I've put columns for weight, and I basically left a column empty so that you could print it out and check off everything right before you leave. That way you don't forget anything. So best of luck to you this fall, and be sure to give our channel a subscribe and also like this video. Thanks for watching. I gotta pick all this crap up.